I'm Sabrina Ramonov, and this is part 7 of my series Build SaaS with AI, where I go from idea to MVP with AI-driven coding using Cursor AI and my new favorite feature, Cursor Composer. And in this last post of the series, we'll work on publishing ready content through a Zapier webhook, CSS-style updates, and deploying the app via Vercel. So what we're going to do first is set up this Zapier automation, and basically our app Remix is going to push content that's ready for publication, push it over to Zapier via a webhook. Then Zapier is going to catch that data, figure out what platform it should be published on, and then depending on what platform, if it's Facebook, then create a Facebook post. If it's LinkedIn, create a LinkedIn update. So the first step here, this is the trigger. Choose Webhooks by Zapier. So here, look for the trigger Webhooks by Zapier. It's a premium feature. And then you're going to select Catch Hook, click Continue. You don't have to do anything here. Click Continue. And then when we start sending tests to this webhook, it'll look something like this. You might have to click Find New Records, but basically here's the platform that the content should be published on. Let's say LinkedIn. Here's the text content, and then here's the optional image URL. And then what we're going to do is pass that along the path. Let's say continue with selected record here. And then to add a path, it's called Paths by Zapier. I'm not going to recreate it since I've already added it. I'm just going to close this and delete this. Okay. Once you've added paths, it'll look something like this. I just renamed this path. So click rename, change it to Facebook, rename this one over here to LinkedIn, and then open this path so you can see what the conditions are. So select custom rules and then only continue if platform, which is the data sent in through the webhook, only continue if the platform contains Facebook. Okay. And then for the other path over here, same thing, custom rules, only continue if platform contains LinkedIn. And you can repeat these. You can add more paths for different social media platforms, TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, and so on. Okay. And so let's go down this Facebook path. So if the platform is Facebook, then the last step is to actually create a Facebook post. So create another Zapier step here, select Facebook pages, okay, and then create page post. And then all you have to do is set up your account and then feed in the information from the post, right? So the text content and the image. Same thing with LinkedIn over here. So add another Zap step. So if the platform is LinkedIn, we're going to use this LinkedIn out of the box step, create share update, which posts a status. Okay, connect your LinkedIn account, and then same thing, take the text content and the image URL from the webhook that was passed in, and then use that for your LinkedIn post. So that's the Zap in a nutshell, and I decided to just do this for now because I don't want to spend a lot of time creating all the social media business accounts and developer accounts and stuff. For Facebook, I need to figure out my business manager, and all of that stuff is necessary, but it's kind of tedious, and I want to focus on the main core functionality of remixing content. So what our app will do is when you're ready to publish remix content, you just have to click Publish, put in the webhook for your Zap, and then it'll automatically send it down this workflow, look at which platform it's supposed to be published on, and then go ahead and publish it to that platform. So this is a super easy way for me to allow users to publish content, but also do whatever they want with that content, right? Because once you send your content to a Zapier webhook, you can do anything you want with it. Maybe you want to put it in a buffer queue. Maybe you want to put it in Google Drive or a Google Sheet, whatever you want. And so that's why I opted for this path, because it actually allows for a lot of flexibility with what you want to do with the content. And it's not limited to Zapier either. You can put a webhook to anything, to Zapier, Make, Pipedream, your own custom app, whatever. You can push the content to whatever tool you want. And now to actually grab the webhook, go to the webhook trigger, and then here's the webhook URL. And next, what we're going to do is implement the publish button in our app. So how our app works, you input some content, remix it, tweak the content until you're happy with it, and then you click publish to send it off somewhere. Here's the prompt. As usual, the first part is boilerplate. I removed stuff related to Tailwind and CSS. Here is the task itself. So use the existing publish button in our generated content component. When user clicks the publish button, show a modal. That is a simple form asking for a webhook URL that the content should be pushed to. And in this video, I'm going to show Zapier offering that webhook URL as trigger. But again, you can push this content to any webhook, any app that supports that. We also want to validate the webhook URL as a valid URL before the user clicks submit. And we want to make sure we're creating a server-side API route to handle the webhook request rather than sending it through the client side, because then you run into CORS issues. And then after user submits the form with a webhook URL, send a payload containing the generated text, the optional image, and the selected social media platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. So for example, if the user generated content for Facebook and LinkedIn, and the user clicks publish for LinkedIn, then the app should send LinkedIn as the selected social media platform. Pretty straightforward. Display all errors, handle them gracefully, and then show a success message after successfully submitting the webhook. Okay, so let's open up Cursor, type the instructions here, add some context here. Generated content probably. It's because the publish button should be in generated content. Here, I'm just going to add the API folder. Oh, hang on. Okay, here. So answer the questions. Say requested each time. No. Yeah, let's make it a separate component. Send only the content for the selected platform. Say up to you. No. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so here's the plan that it's going to go through. So it's creating a new function to validate URLs. It's creating a webhook modal component with a simple form where you put in the webhook URL. And again, that enables you to send the content to anything that has a webhook. That could be Zapier, make.com, your own custom app, whatever. Create a new error message, reusable component for displaying error messages. Probably unnecessary, but let's see how it looks. Okay, let's paste in some content. Actually, let's try it just with text. That's a little bit faster. And then we'll try it with image and multiple platforms. Okay, cool. So here's the prompts. I just added this collapse button. Okay, that's interesting. That's actually kind of handy if you are working on multiple platforms and just want to focus on one. So yeah, let's hit publish. So webhook URL, go ahead to Zapier and grab it. So go to the webhook trigger and then go to test. And then here's your webhook URL. Then click submit. And it says successfully published to webhook. So now let's go ahead and check. Oh, only thing is I can't close the modal. so that's one thing we should probably tweak. Let's go here, find new records. Okay, probably this. Yep, rapid growth strategy, right? Yeah, here, rapid growth strategy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can also check the timestamp. And that's it, since we didn't send an image. And so here, how to test it in Zapier is click continue with selected record. And then you want to click retest filter, right? So this is using the new data. So your path would have continued, which is correct. So now if you go over to the LinkedIn path and click retest, it should say your path would not have continued, which is correct. Because again, we're pushing in a Facebook post. If you go to test here, platform is Facebook. So it should only go through this Facebook chain. Okay, so everything's working. We just need to be able to close this modal. Everything is working, including URL, but I can't close the modal after it says successfully. Okay, so let's do that. We just want to make sure we can close the modal. And then once we fix that, let's test it on multiple platforms with images as well. So this effect triggers when is success becomes true, and it closes the modal after 2 seconds. Let's click save all, and let's try it again. And yeah, so let's do Facebook post and generate image, and then let's do LinkedIn as well. Let's do bullet points and generate an image. Click generate content. All right, everything looks good here. Here's the generated content for Facebook and LinkedIn. Let's go ahead and try publishing LinkedIn. So here's the webhook. Click submit, and now this modal should disappear, yep, automatically within 2 seconds after the success notification. Now let's go to Zapier, your trigger, go to test, and then click find new records. Request G is pulled in. Okay, this is the request. So LinkedIn platform, here's the content, right? So rapid growth achieved. And then here's the image URL. Let's just check that's the correct image. Yep, looks right. And then continue with selected record to test the flow. So here it's actually going to the first one, and then you need to click retest filter. And it should not continue on this path because the platform is LinkedIn. So now if you go to LinkedIn and click retest filter, your path would have continued. So, and then you can actually see the test record over here, platform LinkedIn. Okay, and then what happens once it continues? So it continues on whatever else is down this path. So here we would create a share update if we connect our LinkedIn, and you can do other stuff as well, right? You can write to Google Sheet, you can push it to Airtable. Now that the data is in Zapier, you can do all sorts of things. Mail it to yourself, send a Slack message, put it in Notion, put it in HubSpot. Basically whatever Zapier integrates with that you want to push to, you can do that. that here. And that's kind of the beauty of architecting it this way, because now I kind of avoid the tedious work of all the social media integrations, but also users will be able to push this content to whatever they want. And so it's easily extensible even as an initial version, because we have a way for you to get that data out and push it into a workflow automation tool. And lots of people use Zapier or Make.com. My personal favorite's Pipedream, but Zapier is great with all of these out-of-the-box social media integrations. And now, if let's say you want to add another path, you want to add Instagram. Let's rename this to Instagram. All you have to do here is update the path conditions, platform, text contains Instagram. Okay. And then here for your action, you would just click the Instagram or Instagram for Business, publish photo, and then connect your Instagram for Business account. From our platform, if you choose, once we add Instagram as a platform, you'll be able to publish it. It will have the tag, platform is Instagram, and it will go down this path. Okay, and then let's test it real quick for Facebook as well. Oh, oops, that is not let me grab the URL. And let's test it again for Facebook here. Just make sure there's no issues. Okay, yeah. Before I submitted the image URL, which obviously wouldn't have worked. Okay, cool. And then let's go to Zapier. So it should be request H. Yep. Okay, yep. Platform Facebook. Here's the content. Here's the image URL. And again, to test it out, just click continue with selected record and then retest filter. So now that this is Facebook, it should be, yes, it would have continued for this test data. But if you retest LinkedIn, it should say it would not have continued, which is correct. Okay. All right, so the next thing we want to do is I want to show you how to update the CSS and styles. So one little hack I have to do is go to dribbble.com. That's dribble with 3 B's. And it's basically a website that curates a lot of designers' works. They publish their designs here and you can see them. This is from Omer Erdogan. And I just thought it was a really nice, clean looking table with a nice, clean looking sidebar as well. And so what I did is I just took a screenshot of this over here and I'm going to feed it into Cursor AI to help us just spruce up the sidebar and our table. And I found it's kind of hacky sometimes attaching an image in Composer. So for this, I'm just going to use the default Cursor AI. Okay, so let's close this. And before we do that, let's make sure we commit git add-a, and then we added push data webhook. Cool. Ooh, typo. So git commit. Okay, so now what we want to do is open a new Cursor AI chat, paste in our prompt. Basically, we're going to tell AI to analyze the images, CSS, and styles, especially focusing on the sidebar and table. Let me remove the text first. I'm going to open a new chat. I don't know why Cursor today has been so buggy with putting in images from files. Okay, there's the image. Okay, paste it in my text again. And then in terms of context to include on prompts table, and then the sidebar, and then probably the globals and maybe the top bar. Okay, and let's go ahead and do that. Maintain color scheme, answer the questions. Yes. Icons. Yes. Let's say yes. Similar custom scroll bar. No. Yes. Similar font. Okay, so let's apply the changes. It's global CSS. Updating the sidebar. Updating the top bar. Okay. Updating the prompts table. So it updated the color scheme and fonts, added icons, blah, blah, blah. Complete the implementation. You'll need to install React icons. Let me do this. Update your tail end. This has to create a placeholder image, but I'm currently too lazy. Let's just see how it looks. Okay. Ooh, this logout button should not be all the way there, but ooh, at this though, I definitely the design a lot more. Yeah, I don't have a placeholder avatar here. The only thing really I'd fix is moving this logout button, making sure it's contained within the sidebar. Maybe having a placeholder avatar. Can I just use my own avatar? Save image as remix. Where was I supposed to put it? I think this is where I was supposed to put it. Oh, probably in public. Okay, move the placeholder avatar to public. Okay, sweet. There's me. I'm John Doe. Okay, and then let me move the logout button. Everything looks good except the logout button. The logout button should only be contained in the sidebar fully contained in the sidecar component only. So that's a minor thing, but other than that, the changes it made, kind of alternating colors here in the table. It added icons on the left sidebar. We probably also want to change this back to remix. Okay, so here, accepted this, and then I also want to change the text ever be to remix in the sidebar components. Yeah, it's literally a one-word change. So, okay. And yeah, there we go. So changed it to remix, move the logout button. Yeah, cleaned it up quite a bit. And so that was great. And I think our app is pretty much ready to go. We want to deploy it. Obviously, I might want to remove the avatar and stuff for now, but it's pretty cool that it did that just from looking at a screenshot. So now the last step is to actually deploy everything to Vercel, but let's go ahead and commit this. Updated styling, prompts, table, and sidebar. Okay. And then let's merge everything to main. So git checkout main, git merge feature / part 7. And then let's also push because Vercel will want to use our GitHub repo. Let's start a new chat here and let's just ask, how do I deploy this to Vercel? We can chat with the entire code base in case it needs to reference anything. Ensure your project is pushed. So we did that just now. Sign up for Vercel accounts if you haven't already. Go to Vercel. Click new project, choose the Git provider where your repo is hosted, select the repo, add new project, just now remix over here, import, click on the deploy button. Yeah, so we can either click deploy and then change the environment variables or just add them here. I'm gonna click deploy first, and then what we're gonna do is add all the environment variables. So if you go to .env.local, basically all of the variables there you need to add to Vercel as well. And then here, I think this is all done automatically. I don't think we have to do something here. Okay, so deployment has started. So just checking back, and I see some errors in the Vercel deployment. So I just expanded the errors here, copy pasted it into cursor, and it's replying right now. Unescaped apostrophe in your JSX. Update the page.tsx file. Okay, and then there was another warning here. So applying it to page.tx. Okay. Additional steps to ensure a successful deployment. So run ESLint locally. So let's do no errors, just a couple warnings. These warnings should be okay though. Fix ESLint errors, push origin main. Okay. Then we'll try deploying again on Vercel. And here I just made a new branch Vercel with Vercel fixes and deployed it again. And now the error is that we're missing environment variables, which makes total sense because we haven't put them in Vercel. Settings, yeah, then go to environment variables, and here where it says key and value, that's where you're going to want to put everything from your .env local file. So I think off the top of my head, I think we have OpenAI and Firebase are the main things you'll want to put in here. Okay, then once you've added your environment variables, go to the project and click redeploy. Okay, you can even import your .env.local file too, so that's another option. Okay, and then when Vercel is done deploying, you can click visit to go to the link, authenticating, and then we probably will have to sign up AOL.com. Click sign up, never save. Okay, there should be 3 default prompts here. Okay, that's awesome. Let's create a new prompt, one-liner. One-line summary of the inputs. Okay, create. Okay, so there's our prompt. Let's click create. And then, yeah, let's just grab one of my blog posts again. Here, we're just testing that everything works as expected. Do Facebook and LinkedIn. Let's do that. Let's do Facebook post. And then for LinkedIn, we'll do the one-liner. Generate image. Click generate content. And you can see the UI is what we updated it to be. So it has these nice icons and stuff on the left sidebar. And the prompts table in the previous screen was nice and clean. All right, so it's done generating. So this is our Facebook text content, our image, our LinkedIn content, and our image as well. So everything it's working really well, and it's deployed on this publicly accessible URL. You saw that I just created a user and then logged in, and then it populated with the 3 default prompts. Then I created my own prompt and then used that prompt here for one-liner. And so that pretty much wraps up the series. So we've gone all the way from literally just a mock-up. If I go all the way to part 1, right, we started with this mock-up, simplified it to this over here. And actually, it's pretty close to what we have here. So we have kind of the left sidebar, the top bar, the input form where you paste the content you want to repurpose, and then the generated content on the right hand side with the image, the text, as well as the ability to edit the prompt and hit publish, which sends it out to a webhook, which could be Zapier, make.com, or your own app. And so we've gone all the way really from an idea and some scratch drawing all the way to a fully functional MVP deployed publicly online. And of course, I'll change the domain for this so it's easier for people to get to. But in this series, really just wanted to showcase how to use AI-driven coding to go from that initial idea, big vision, to an MVP that is small, launchable, and feasible, and how to get it across the finish line using AI-driven coding. And so I just wanted to wrap up the series with a couple closing points. Number one, want to discuss overall impressions of Cursor AI. I really love the user experience, especially with its new Composer feature, because it creates the files automatically, edits the files automatically, and even saves the changes. And you can save everything before applying the changes so you can test that everything works as expected. I do think Cursor is a bit weaker when it comes to actually producing correct code suggestions that don't break other things. So I've had more success playing around with Aider.chat and Zed AI as two alternatives to Cursor. But in terms of user experience and how seamless working with AI, collaborating with AI on the code, I think Cursor AI is much better than Aider and Zed. However, Aider, Chat, and Zed tend to produce better coding results. So just wanted to throw that out as options. If you're not coding full-time every day in your typical job or career, Cursor AI is going to be a lot easier and more intuitive for you to pick up. Zed in particular, I love that you can edit all the prompts and everything with Vim mode. I really just wish it had a way to apply the code edits. But those are two other ones to check out. I'll type the names here, aider.chat, and the website is zed.dev, but it's called Zed AI. And then I've gotten a lot of questions in my YouTube series about, does this approach of AI-driven coding make sense if you have zero technical or product background? And my answer to that is, honestly, you're probably better off starting with more traditional no-code tools, such as Bubble.io for web app development, Adalo for mobile app development, and also Softer.io for CRUD-heavy web app development. And also Softer.io if your app basically consists of a bunch of forms and displaying that data. It's another really good option. And then when you pair these no-code tools with workflow automation tools, Zapier, Make, Airtable, and Pipedream, you can definitely accomplish a lot in terms of MVP functionality. And so I definitely want to shout out to that low code stack because it's definitely a viable option. And it's what I would honestly recommend if you have zero technical or product background. Now, for those of you who do have some tech or product background, AI driven coding enables you to build more complex apps. Whereas with Bubble or Adalo or Softer, you're going to hit limitations in the type of functionality you want to build out. So for example, I've used Bubble.io in the past plenty, and I know that it would struggle with having a job queue, video generation, and video editing workflows, which are ultimately things I want in my Remix app. And knowing that ahead of time, that's kind of why I made the decision that I'm going to go with AI-driven coding, because when you kind of hit that limitation in no-code tools, it's incredibly painful to find a workaround, or sometimes it's just not even possible to do what it is you want and deliver the user experience that you want. And so that's kind of my 2 cents on low-code versus AI-driven coding. If you're building a pretty CRUD-heavy app and you have no technical background, check out low-code tools first: Bubble, Adalo, Softer, Zapier, Make, Airtable, Pipedream. If you have some tech or product background, or you know that you're building an app that's going to hit the limitations of low-code tools, then that's when I would recommend seriously considering AI-driven coding. And the last thing I want to say is many people have reached out to me wanting to build apps, or they're already building apps and MVPs, but sometimes get discouraged by the learning curve. Just keep in mind, a typical software engineer has a 4-year college degree in addition to years of industry experience. Obviously, it's going to take you some time to learn the basics and fundamentals. So Git for version control, it's something that developers we take for granted. But if you're absolutely new to coding or tech, that may be something that looks scary to you, but I promise, you can learn it. It's really all about your mindset and mentality and just keeping an open mind, making a commitment to continual learning and not giving up early. Even though AI-driven coding can get you very far, very fast, there's still learning and work involved. And I always encourage you to try to follow along with what AI is doing to your code base so that you can ask better questions, start developing those technical skills, ask about stuff you're not familiar with, just have that interactive conversation all the time so that you're continually growing, continually learning, because that's the most important thing anyway. So in terms of my plans for this app, I wanted to spend a week or so testing it out heavily myself, iterate on the core remixing functionality, probably throw in a Stripe integration as well, and then launch it publicly no later than next week. So hope you enjoyed this series, Build SaaS with AI. My name's Sabrina Ramonov. Hit subscribe, drop a comment below.